In this video, I'm going to talk about questionnaires in Dubsado. It's part of our longer How to Use Dubsado course, which is this entire playlist. So start at the beginning if you're just finding us. So our fifth type of form is our questionnaires, and I love these. I don't have a favorite type of form. Probably sub-agreements actually, because they're proofs. But questionnaires are so versatile that they are definitely a close second. So you can use these for so many different things, and you'll see that I have way more questionnaires than anything else. I have a whole boot camp that is pretty much set up primarily on questionnaires. So when I get into this, we have all those same containers and building blocks. I have this little homework about priorities where we've got some questions here. We've got some cute little quotes. We've got several different types of questions. And then we also have an area for notes and this cute little GIF of Alan Rickman, RIP. So you can do a lot of really cute things with questionnaires. For my business, a couple of the things that I use most often are going to be this invitation design and invitation information questionnaire. The design questionnaire is for people who I haven't had a chance to have a consult with if I don't know about their design preferences. This questionnaire has a lot of information about, like, how did you meet? Where do you shop? Where are you getting married? How would you describe your style? You can even select some of these things. If I was making this again today, I would probably put some photos in here because I like to let people to choose things by photos and not by words sometimes. Do you have wedding colors picked out? Just all kinds of things on here that will help me get to know them, and even a file uploader to help them upload some design inspiration or a copy of their Pinterest board or something like that. Again, you can make these so simple, but you can also make them so beautiful and exciting. You can do containers. You can do the different settings for these individual pieces. You can change the fonts. You can change the colors. So I made a lot of these forms before the new form builder came into place, but it's really nice to be able to go in and just do some really unique, fun, exciting things and help it match your brand and help you really stand out. You can add videos, images, GIFs, just anything you want in here. There's a few different types of questions, so I'll draw attention to those. So short answer is going to be just like how many hours do you expect the event to last, or what's your favorite color? And you can even put in fake placeholder text, so you can give them instructions. I like to put a few things in here, like what types of font scripts do you gravitate toward? Here's some examples: modern, calligraphy, swirly, simple, etc. This one is just like a cute thing about how I like to eat fried chicken and love my Brittany Spaniel photo, and I'm terrible at all sports. So this is just a way to get to know your clients and infuse some of your personality into this. Another question type is free response, which is like these. You just have a little bit longer to respond. There's a date select, a drop down where you can show as many different options here as you want. A checkbox option, which can be like a yes or no question, but it can also have several other things. You can also select required or not required for several of the forms. And the client can submit a draft of a questionnaire as long as all the required fields are filled out. And then when they are done and they don't want to make any more changes, they can submit the final draft. So it's nice that they can go ahead and work on it and get an idea of all the information they're going to need, and then kind of come back to it as they get that information. Lastly, we also have a multiple choice question. Again, this could be a yes or no. The checkboxes, they can select multiples. Multiple choice, they can only select one, but you can also add more options than just two. The questionnaire I use most is this invitation information questionnaire. I send this to all of my clients, and basically on here we select all the information they want for their entire suite. So we have their names, we have what they want to include, parents' names. It's really important to me that this is all like gender neutral and everything. Date select for the wedding, where is the wedding, what time, just all these little details that they would otherwise be kind of emailing you back and forth about. I've even got a few options on here where, would you like to leave a line for this? There might be a $45 fee, and then I'm going to include a note here about RSVP postage, which they can always mail to me and I can apply for them. And there's a link also below that to our address template. So lots of information you can include here, but this is going to save you so much time, all of your back and forth, because every time you want to know something, you can just go back into this questionnaire, you know exactly where it is, and the more you use this form, the more rote it's going to be exactly where all the pieces of information that you need are. This day of questionnaire is also a great example of the capabilities you can use. So if you've ever done wedding invitations, you know there's just a lot of information for the day of items because they have their seating chart, which is constantly changing, their colors, everything is kind of in flux until the very last minute. So this is an option that helps them narrow things down and helps them be able to change things as much as they want. But then when I start working on the project, I have all the information in the same place because it's so easy to miss an email saying, oh, I wanted to change from the yellow paper to the red paper. Oh, I wanted to change from the gold ink to the white ink. So easy to miss those things. So in here, I make them select the date that they need things in hand. This is always different than the wedding date because they might be traveling to the wedding and they might need them a week before the wedding, for instance. And then everything that we have is due 4 weeks before that above date, and I make them select that date too and remind them about their $25 setup fee plus the cost of change goods if we do need to make any changes after that date. So in here, I love these containers because basically I have all escort card stuff in this container. And if they don't have escort cards, it's really easy for me on an individual job to delete this section. So if they have escort cards, here they're selecting, their paper color, their ink color, they're giving me all the information they want on them, and they even can upload the file with the final spreadsheet. Here we have our bar sign. Again, it's in a container, so if they have multiple signs, I can just copy this container and duplicate, the title here. So this is the 8x10 bar sign. Maybe this one is the 5x7 photo booth sign. And I can make this match their proposal for when I send it over so that I have all the information I need for a sign here in this container. And it's really easy to copy that as many times as I want or delete it if I don't need it. Menus are also on here, and then we have a file uploader, just any other files that they might want to upload. So to add this form on a project is the exact same as adding a proposal or something. So let's add the day of items questionnaire here, and then you can click add. Any of your forms, once you've added them to a job, if you make any changes, you are just making those changes here on this job. You are not making those changes to the form template. Although if you want to, so when you click edit, we are making any changes that we need just for this job. So that's where I might, if they don't have any signage, I might delete this whole container. If they have multiple signs, I might duplicate it a few times and put the different titles for those signs on here. And then if I decide, oh, this is actually a really good template move, I can just click here and click save as template. Now it's a brand new template that I can use on other jobs. But if I just click save, we're just saving it on this particular job, and we're not making any changes to it on the original template over here. So if we add it to future jobs, it'll be back exactly the way it was. So what I like to do is add more to a template that I need, and then if I need to delete something on a job, for instance, if I have a rehearsal dinner container and they don't have a rehearsal dinner card, I can just very easily delete that. Or if I have a details card and they don't have a details card, it's easy for me to delete that so that I have all the other information that I need, but I don't have any of that information that I don't need. And then once you've added the questionnaire, it's very easy for you to just send it directly to the client. Or there's always going to be these different smart fields. So if you went to send an email and you wanted to include the questionnaire link, you could always just click your form link and you would have that day of items questionnaire that you added. So you can always add it in a couple of different ways, but it's really easy to just find it right here and click send. Every time I'm about to start on proofs for a client or day of goods, I'm going to go into this form. I'm going to see everything that they have filled out, and I'm going to have all the latest information as opposed to having to search through my inbox for, did they change the paper color at the last minute? What's the latest seating chart file, etc. I can make sure they're always uploading everything onto this form and there's no confusion. So with that, in this course, we've covered all 5 of these different form types. We've covered how to get started and set up your brand settings. We've covered how to create projects and import projects using a lead capture. We've covered canned email, packages, and payment plans. All of this is available on the starter plan with Dubsado. So now I'm going to get into a few things that are only available in the Premier plan that I think are a little bit next level. Up to this point, we've created all the basics. You can get your full job done this way, but we're going to go into the scheduler, the workflows, and also what's called a public proposal. So all three of those are features that are only available in the Premier plan, and I think are so wonderful and helpful, but are also a little bit next level. So I would recommend revisiting everything we've covered so far, getting a good feel for how all of this works and goes together, and then kind of coming back and watching some of those more advanced features when you're ready, or going ahead and watching them, but understanding that you might not quite be ready to set those up until you have everything else fully set up. And then in the last video on this playlist, we will have a project at the end where I talk about how to map out your process flow. I'll give you a free download for that. So highly recommend checking out that last video, because it will help you figure out which of these things you need to get started with, and which canned emails you need, which questionnaires you need, what type of proposals you need, etc., to adapt to your business and the way that you already are functioning. So next up, I'll go into public proposals, and just as a reminder, you can always use my code Design by Laney or the link in the description of this video for 30% off your first month or year with Dubsado, whether you start on their starter plan or the Premier plan.